So, monstercat Uncaged Selections 1, huh? We're getting comps across the entire board once again since Silk was acquired in 2021. I could go on about how they're finally crawling back, but that's not funny. They're crawling to nothing. What they do with the label is their choice, and they could easily have said, yeah, no comps, we told you in late 2021, and nobody would have batted an eye. So to say that I'm overjoyed that they had a change of heart is a vast understatement. I've been wanting to make comp album ranking videos, but to do all the numbered comps between 001 launch week and Uncaged Volume 11, it's just too much. It truly would have been the best outcome to get comps again with a fresh new start, and that's exactly what we got. Of course, Silk has been getting comps since 2024, before then, if you count the last Spring Selections one, but they said numerous times that Silk was all they were doing. The promises that they made that Uncaged and Instinct wouldn't see them again, the nail they put in the coffin after Uncaged 11, the less than ideal money it was making. It seemed like it wasn't happening, and monstercat being bought by a much larger company didn't seem to make things any less bleak. For a dead dream, I'm glad it didn't die. So, allow me to jump on the bandwagon now that we're witnessing this. Seems like a good time to do it. Of course, this is all just my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to make your own video. That's kind of the fun of these potentially hot take riddled videos. My personal format goes like this. Yes, I'll be ordering the songs from least favourite to favourite, but I won't be scoring the songs. I feel like scoring isn't a very good way to demonstrate how much I like a song. You see a 5, you don't think, oh, so it's okay. You think, oof. Also, obviously, I'm using my voice. I'd use a camera, but I'm not digit or bow-tied media. I'm just a person in a bedroom in a communal house rambling their ear off about whatever interests them. Anyway, I've waffled enough. Let's begin. Let me start by saying that in no way is any song in this compilation album bad. They're all perfectly fine pieces of music and I'd be happy to vibe to any of them any day. The reason this song is in last place is kind of beyond my explanation, to be honest. The best way I can explain it though is that the song didn't really speak to me as much as the other ones. I like to think that's not a crazy thing to think. I mean, after all, this is the brand of monstercat that describes the vibe as turning emotions into sound. I guess that for whatever super subtle reasons this didn't click with me as much as the other songs did, it might do excellently for someone else. It's a nice little tune. The reason it's so low on the list though is the song suffers from much the same problems as the last one. I just don't find it very, for lack of a better word, overwhelming. What puts this song above the previous one is that there's more that speaks to me in this one though. The piano after the first drop is especially nice, and so is the rain ambience. Plenty for one to like here. Ooh, really chill. Again, like the previous song, my favourite part has to be when the beat lets go after the first drop and you're left with just pure ambient. I will admit, not a fan of those rubbery plucks, but if I recall correctly, I heard someone else say it's right up their alley, so I'm glad it worked for someone. I think my favourite part of the song is most likely the piano melody that starts when the beat kicks in, but with the high end cut out. Kinda invites me to fill in the parts where the melody parts pause, and I just totally vibe with that. Love it when Silk gets a bit instincty. Those plucks are very nice, and the vocals add a nice bit of flavour to the song. And it does all without breaking the Silk vibe. If you play this in a chill house mix, nobody would bat an eye. I genuinely really like the songs that blur the line between brands. As much between Instinct and Silk, like Cloud9's Wish, but also between Instinct and Uncaged, like Bensley's Fade Out, Trivector's Riptide, or, and I'm totally going to butcher this, Slumberjack and Ikhalid's Closure, which monstercat was apparently so undecided on which brand it belongs in that they changed it after it was already on a comp. Anyway, back to this song. One thing I also like with this song is its chord progression. It's got some nice emotional impact without being too over the top. Awesome. I love ambient, love it. So naturally this song would be high up the list. It honestly makes me wish Silk did a bit less house and a bit more of everything around it, such as ambient, chill step, maybe some future garage, you know, stuff like that. And perhaps the original Silk label was like that, in which case, that's fair. I totally understand the desire to avoid putting people off by a shift in vibe. But I do like variety in music. As for this song, I don't really have a huge amount to say about it. It's super pretty, it's super chill. What more could you want from a label that's dedicated to doing just that? I want something different from all three sub-labels of monstercat. From Uncaged, I generally want a nice balance of brain-breaking complexity and face-melting heaviness. From Instinct, I generally want music that dares to deviate slightly from the socially acceptable norm and provide deeply personal and relatable lyrics in the process. And from Silk, I want anything that sounds like this. Emotional sounding synths arranged in such a way that it utilises basic minor bass chords to deliver an attention-grabbing vibe. But it even goes beyond that by almost sounding Boards of Canada-like. The vocals are a lovely addition too. Overall, this is easily my favourite from a comp that has no bad apples. Absolutely gorgeous song. Anyway, I think that just about does it for this video. I have no idea when I'll be able to gather the motivation to do Silk selections too, but as of writing the script, I am interested in doing it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for whatever the future may hold. See ya!